I'm finally ready to tell this story. God delayed it for a while, but now is the time, he said, and I've gotten the okay. And so we're just going to get right into it. I can laugh about it now, but at the time, I want everybody to understand it really was this severe. This is just what children of God go through. And any other child of God watching this surely will have went through this in some way or another at least once in their life. So about 2 to 3 months ago, I get this job downtown at this burger joint. And during my interview for that place, the owner told me that he was excited to add me to the team because I seem like I would, basically because I seem like I would add to the positivity. And there used to be, this is what he told me, there used to be drama, a bad drama, and gossip and all that stuff, and he had gotten rid of who he felt like he needed to get rid of, and apparently that was like the team was back, on track, and it was a positive vibe again, and there was just no more drama anymore. And I don't want to add anybody to the team that's gonna take us backwards and take us back to square one and start the drama all over again. So I thought that was a good thing at first. And that turned out, what he told me, turned out to be a raging red flag. I want to say day one of me starting that job, right off the bat, it's a raging red flag because you lied. It wasn't just that, it was the fact that I'm listening to the gossip, I'm witnessing the drama. Maybe he doesn't know about it. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're hiding it from him, or he's just oblivious or naive. I don't know. But what he told me was not appearing to be the case. That did not sit right with my spirit, because it just seemed like, for as hard as he was going about that, you would think that it would be a while before I had a negative experience there, but that just wasn't the case. During the time that I got this job, I was homeless, and I had come out of a situation just before that where I was supposed to have my together, and I just did not. I was not responsible enough. I did not make as much money as I thought I was gonna make to be able to get my own place and get up on my feet. And I've been homeless before, so I could handle being homeless for as long as I needed to. But here's where it starts to get a little sinister, a little wicked. What I know happened. One of them found out that I was homeless. They ran their mouth to other coworkers. They found somebody, this spy, yes, I'm calling him a spy. They found this monitoring spirit of a person and had him to watch me and get info on me. And as a child of God, this is nothing new. There are a lot of people you will come across when the light of God is visible in you and on you that will be intrigued, be curious like other people would be, but who mishandle that curiosity. So they'll be curious, but also jealous or envious. It'll be like a mixture of it. And so to mitigate their fascination, and I would even call it obsession, to mitigate that, they do things like this. They do. I mean, this is not anything that was truly shocking. I was just surprised that they were that determined. It was shortly after me starting this job at this burger joint, befriended me. And he befriended me at this community center that I would go to at 8 in the morning for breakfast and 4 p.m. for dinner. And I noticed right after I started this job, he started showing up at the community center and very carefully trying to get to know me. My spirit never sat right with him, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a little swayed by his communicative charm. He's funny, and he's witty, and he's like one of those that like can make a joke out of anything, always has like some comedy on the spot. But his eyes, they don't lie. Nobody's eyes lie. And his eyes always gave like he was carrying a burden, like doing something that he felt bad about doing, but also he was a little excited to do it, like kind of like Hitman vibes without the killing and the murder. So I would never have called him a friend even at that time, but we did like, get to know each other to a degree, and come to find out, and I told him where I work, he told me where he worked, and he acted like when I told him about my job, he acted like he didn't know what store I was talking about, anybody that worked there. Oh, I think I've been there like once or twice. I'm not. I think like playing that whole character facade, and come to find out, because he came into the store one day, he did know them. And he dapped like when he came in this one day, the coworkers that I was working with, he like dapped them up and they chopped it up. And it was obvious to me then, like right then, you do know them. Wait, because I could have sworn we just had a conversation like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and you swore you like hardly knew what place I was talking about. Like, I think I think I've eaten there like once. No, you've eaten there many times, and you've gone here many times. You know these people. You've spoken to these people many times. You guys hang out. So that caught me off guard. But I, as a child of God allowed me to stay calm and act like nothing was wrong. And I could tell that they thought that was supposed to be some type of gotcha moment against me. I did not give them anything to chew on, not even like not a shocked look, like not nothing, because mind you, I've been through a lot as a child. I've been through some wicked schemes, some thorough manipulations, like witchcraft, all of it. So it's actually like a miracle that I was able to be as stoic as I was in that moment, because any type of reaction at all, and they would have eaten that up. And yeah. But I remember feeling really like betrayed for, the rest of that shift, and like stabbed in the back. Like, is this really happening? Like, what is going on? Come to find out, these evil coworkers, at least one of them found out that I was homeless. And no doubt this plant that they had to come spy on me confirmed to them that yes, he is living on the streets. Like he does go get food. Like he does not have, like he is in the struggle. So what they ended up doing was they flip-flopped on me. Just about all of them. They flip-flopped on me bad. They would start to do things here and there, and it just slowly got worse, and then rumors spread. And you can always, as a child of God, when you have discernment, you can just feel when a rumor is brewing. You can feel, because of the way people treat you. There's a certain way that people treat you when there's false information that somebody spread about you versus how they feel about you individually, and I just knew that there were rumors being spread, and they had the wrong impression of me. And there were these three main people. Actually, I'm going to narrow it down to two. There was this person, and then there was this redhead, and they were both wicked. I mean, they were absolutely wicked to me. They were carrying out most of what I went through. They were the culprits, like the main culprits. They were carrying out the rumors, carrying out the abuse. They were the ones trying to do the most damage. They were the ones that were going hard. God forbid the day I had to go in and work, and it was just me and the two of them. It was horrifying. I mean, it was horrible. The redhead would would be slamming stuff. I mean, and the times where she got really crazy, the redheaded one, it was just me and her. So like we were opening the store together or something, or that, and she would be slamming stuff, find any reason to be mad, and it mainly just slamming things and making noise. I would walk by her and she would like slam something, in the sink, or drop something off the shelf, or just be acting disgustingly. I mean, beyond, it was deplorable. It was disgusting. A lot of it was heavily influenced by witchcraft. Very heavy. I mean, you can see it in her eyes, the evil that was in that girl, and things just kept getting worse. Even there was this guy there, like one of the cooks, that I thought he was cool. I always was respectful and kind to him, and he always would say the most belittling, subtle, but he would just say the most belittling, unprofessional and childish things to me. And if it wasn't what he said, it was his response that was so juvenile and like disrespectful, blatant, and like just rude, just nasty. Nothing too like crazy that, I felt like I couldn't finish the shift or I had to clock out. But it was sickening. It was sickening to the core. And he actually claimed to like be a child of God. I mean, it was disgusting, y'all. I mean, I can't even tell you. Nonetheless, time goes by, right? And the redhead is putting me through trouble. The transgender one is putting me through trouble. The cook is putting me through trouble. Everybody else is more so just jumping on the bandwagon and doing things, that are more like faint and like, in the background, like background noise, like still irritating, still annoying, still rude and disrespectful, but like way in the background. But like, I knew that it was an attack of the enemy. I knew it was warfare. I knew what it was. I didn't take it too personally. I just, couldn't stop myself from getting upset about it. And, I did cry about it probably like once or twice, just because I was angry. And I was more so crying because God really has changed me. And I knew that no matter how horrible their actions were, I was never going to stoop to their level and do it back to them. And it brought tears out of me, because I knew that if it was the old me, I would have checked them right away. It would have been a wrap. It would have been over. I mean, even if I had to lose my job or whatever, I would have scared the living crap out of them. Like, I would have set everybody in there straight. Period. And they would have never done it again. But I knew that it was going to be a situation where I was going to have to let God vindicate me. And it just hurt to even think that I was going to have to be patient for God knows how long. I didn't know how long I was going to have to put up with it, if I would ever be vindicated from it, how quickly was God going to work on this one? I just was hurt about that. Meanwhile, their actions themselves, I just attributed to the devil. The enemy works like this. It sounds drastic, and it was intense, and it was extreme, but this is how the enemy works. So it wasn't, why would I get my feelings hurt about people I don't care about? But also, why would I get my feelings hurt over people who don't have their salvation secured? It's just not going to happen. And when I put everybody else on the back burner, just know they had their parts to play. But for the sake of me telling this story, I'm going to tell you guys about the main two culprits. So this redhead and the transgender one, they put me through so much, and it became such a pattern that I started documenting everything on paper. And one day, they went above and beyond. It was teetering on the boundary of demonic possession. Believe it or not. And no, I did not do anything. Like, I didn't have a moment where I broke and decided to cuss them out, and that's what finally brought them to that more extreme level. No, I kept standing in my light. I kept standing in my truth, and the truth. And I didn't falter. I just could not for the life of me stoop to their level at all, because I just am not them, and I would never want to be them. And there was this one particular day where they saw me documenting, like writing stuff down. I didn't let them read it, of course, but I think they just knew, like because it was every time they did something, I would like find time to go back there in the office and just like document it down. And I think they knew that, and they got enraged, and they started acting absurd. It got so bad that day that 2 delivery guys, like FedEx or UPS, came to deliver packages that they had to carry to the back of the restaurant. They went even harder when those 2 gentlemen were around. Like, you would think that, like if you're in a workplace like drama incident situation, and like there's customers in the lobby or you have like outsiders coming in to deliver packages or whatever, you think that you would put a sock in it, even just for momentarily, They did not. They actually went harder, because it fueled them to like have this extra energy, this extra audience, this extra attention on me. And so they capitalized. They thought they were capitalizing on that, but they were really just looking disgusting. I mean, personality-wise and like attitude-wise, and like the way they were carrying themselves, it was disgusting to the core. It was sickening as hell. Nasty, truly. Type of behavior that makes you nauseous and sick to your stomach. So they were going hard, right? I kept my cool. I just kept laughing at them, because that's all I could do. I had to laugh at them. So they had done this when they took it to this level. The boss, the owner of the store, he had stepped out to go get something at Walmart, like some dish soap or something. So when he came back, I'm pretty worked up. I'm not showing it, but my spirit is all out of balance, and I'm like just really like in disbelief that they took it to this level. So when he gets there, I immediately pulled him to the back, and I told him, I said, "Hey Blake, I think your employees have something they want to tell you." They toned it down as soon as he got back to the store. They acted like nothing happened, like everything was fine. They were silent. They were on hush mode. They finally shut their mouths. And so long story short there, he brings me out to talk to them, all 4 of us. And do you know what this man told me? Which I do respect his honesty. He told me that these 2, after I told him and had proof and like the stuff documented, you know what he said? First of all, when I pulled my documentation out, he said, "Whoa, dang, this is like a lot," or something like that. He looked disappointed rather than embarrassed that they were acting this way. And he told me that they've been here for such and such amount of time, and they've been working for me and helping me for such and such amount of time. So if y'all can't get along, this is what he's telling me. And I'm feeling his passive aggressiveness. If y'all can't get along, then I'm going to have to cut your hours, because they've been here with me for X amount of time, which it was no more than 2 years, but not taking anything away from them, just saying, it's not like they had been there for more than 2. It was a new store. It was a fairly new restaurant. So I swallowed my pride, because I needed the job at that time. And I told him, honestly, I don't have a problem working with them. I want to be treated the way that I treat them. And that's with respect. But that was a lie, because I had every problem working with them. And the things they did, the fact that he never addressed it, he never did anything about it, it was hurtful. But you know what? It wasn't as hurtful as it wasn't as hurtful as much as it was a relief, because at least now I could see the part of him that was a coward, that was a straight coward. The way he runs his store, and this is not just based off that situation, but everything that I've witnessed from there ever since I left, like that whole time that I was working there, it was a relief, really, because now I could see who I was dealing with. And now I could see who is contributing to the problem, because how are you doing nothing about that? How are you doing nothing about that? And then you know what he did? We had one little last talk about that after that, the four of us like disarmed. He brought me back there one last time, and he was like, next time just don't say anything, don't laugh, don't do anything. I said, well, all I did was laugh. I told him XYZ, everything that they did while he was gone, and how I've been putting up with it silently for God knows how long. And I told him, he said, and he tells me, well, they told me that you were trying to taunt them, that you were like laughing at them or something. I said, yeah, I was laughing. What else am I going to do? It's either like laugh or cry. So I laughed in their face. Yeah. And he was like, well, I can't have your back, if you're doing stuff like that, because, he was making it sound like it was a tit for tat thing. Like you laughing compares to them cussing you out and slamming things around you and having these microaggressions and macroaggressions and calling me out of my name, making every second a living hell and lying on me and spreading rumors, and you're acting like me laughing is even equates to what they're doing to me, and you're not even saying anything, but you're acting like nothing happened, like I didn't just tell you what I told you. I was disgusted. I was mortified. That's when I began crying out to God. That day, I remember it like I do remember that. That's when I began praying to God about it, because I knew, oh, this is bad. This is nuclear bad. I don't know if they're holding something over his head, if he's truly like a coward, if he doesn't care, if he's just not well versed in the workplace. So maybe he just doesn't have the experience dealing, he just maybe doesn't take it serious. I don't know. I don't know. But he's acting like I didn't just tell him what I told him. Do you not hear what I did? Did you not just hear what I told you? I'm thinking what? Did it just go so his warped logic was, if you're laughing, you're doing anything at all, responding, saying anything back, whether it's disrespectful or not, whether you were still in the right or not, I can't say anything in your defense. I can't do anything in your defense because you're the same as them. That's what his logic was, y'all. That's what his logic was. I can't do anything about it because you laughed at them. That's legit what he told me. So long story short there, 3 to 4 weeks after that, I wasn't taken off schedule. I was given 1 day a week or 2 max, but I was given 1 to 2 days a week, because I guess that was him trying to keep us from working together or whatever. Given 1 to 2 days a week. And during this 3 to 4 week period, I hit it big on the stock market. I made a ton of money this 1 week. It was just green. Made a ton of money. And I put in, and I actually only meant to do this for 1 week, but I ended up, anyway, so I meant to do it for 1 week, but when you update your availability in Homebase, you have to change it back. So if you put I'm not available Monday through Sunday, it doesn't just do it for that pay period. It stays like that until you change it back. So I ended up off the schedule for 2 weeks because of that. And then he messaged me and he was like, hey, are you still working here? Do you still want to work here or what? What's up with your availability? I said, oh, that was an accident. That was only supposed to be for 1 week. So when he did put me back on the schedule, it was only for a day. 1 day that week, like just one day. So I called out. I had already detached from that job. So just even going in for that day when my day trading was kicking off, was just not something I wanted to do. It's why I didn't want to do it. Like the peace that I had while I was off, I enjoyed that. And just even the thought about walking back in there, it made me sick to my stomach badly. And to be honest, I could have handled it. I could have done the shift, but like one day in a 4-hour shift, and it would literally have been like 40 to 45 bucks to work with God, God knows what devil that day. Just couldn't do it. So I called out. So when I called out for that day, after already being off for 2 weeks, he really thought that like, oh, I don't need the job. He really thought I just didn't need the job or something like that. So he took me off the schedule for 2 weeks. He didn't fire me, but he took me off the schedule for 2 weeks. While I was off the schedule, this is where God's vindication began. Isn't it funny how I had to be removed out of there? God actually works like that in real life. Like God will not do what he wants to do until you are out of something fully, whether it be a relationship, a job, a family ship, a situationship, an opportunity that you thought was good and is no longer serving God, whatever it may be. There's a lot of times where we want to be vindicated, but we are still in it. So God can't do what he wants to do. But let me tell you, when I was off those 2 to 3 weeks, and I mean off, like I was off the schedule, all hell broke loose at that restaurant. All hell broke loose at that restaurant. The transgender, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, I refuse to say their name. So that's how I'm referring to them. The transgender, she got caught in a blatant lie that was a slap in the face to everybody that worked there. The owner ordered a salt gun to the store. She opened it, being nosy, then hid the box or misplaced it to where nobody could find it. The owner couldn't find it. He knew the package arrived, but like nobody knew where this package was. And I know all this info because I'm still in the work group chat. I wasn't fired. I was just off the schedule. And I hadn't checked the work group chat until like way after after all this had happened. I just happened to go back to it in GroupMe, and I'm like, who set off a bomb here? This sounds like a nightmare. Like I don't even like, I'm thinking like, I'm so glad I'm like missing out on all this chaos, because it was a monstrosity of chaos. But she's all in this transgender person is all in the group chat talking about, well, maybe you did this with the box, or maybe this happened, or, did you check, like just playing so confused. Then the owner finally decided to, why don't I just check the camera? So he checks the cameras. He sees her opening the box on camera. He screenshots it, sends a picture to the group chat of her opening the box. He's like, dude, you literally opened the box. Like, why would, and he didn't even like get on her. He never fired her, didn't take any type of disciplinary action, nothing. So why they ended up lying to him and everybody in the group chat, watching everybody be confused about that, is beyond me. I'm not sure. I don't get it. Then another one of the background, I call them background dancers, that was contributing, the cook that I was talking about, the guy, he had something happen with a nut allergy, and he ended up, and I'm not rejoicing about any of this, but I'm just telling you guys that it was God's vindication. I would never have told them this. I would never tell them this myself. Be like, God got all y'all because of what y'all did to me. But this was God's vindication. He was allowing me to see what happens when people, touch not my anointed. Do my prophets no harm. He had something with a nut allergy. Where he had to like tell everybody in the group chat, hey, in the future, I am very allergic to peanuts, cannot be around. Don't cook them. Don't, because somebody had cooked with them on the grill or was boiling them on the grill. For whatever reason, we don't do boiled peanuts at that burger spot. But for some reason, it just happened to him. And he experienced that. And so that was something. And then two of the other background dancers, they got fired. And actually, the drama that caused them to get fired ended up on social media. And the company ended up being involved with that drama on social media. So that was a whole thing. They got fired. Somebody else quit. People were calling out, not wanting to do their shifts. Everybody. I kept seeing tons of messages every day. Hey, I'm going to be late, 30 minutes late, hour late, people not showing up, stuff like that. A lot was happening. Food was getting left out. Protocol was not being followed anymore. Trust me when I tell y'all, it was just a monstrosity of chaos. Chaos. The redhead was looking like a fool. People were getting called out in the group chat for witchcraft, not by me. It was crazy, guys. It was crazy. And it was a monstrosity of disorder, chaos. It was bad. It was bad. I mean, it was nuclear bad. It was so bad to where it was so clear that God vindicated me somehow, because it just so happens that I'm the only one that is taken off the schedule and not there. And the whole time that I'm not there, all hell is breaking loose. The entire time that I'm gone is when all hell broke loose. And I guess what? I didn't catch none of it. I didn't even know what was going on. I was off the schedule for 3 weeks, and I probably didn't check the group chat until the end of the third week. I didn't even know all this stuff was going on until I was reading through all the group chat messages. There were arguments. I'm not going to get deeper into it. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. Just know it was awful. And I didn't have to deal with any of it. And the funny part is everybody at that job ganged up against me. But when all hell broke loose, I was nowhere to be found. Oh! Woo! 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 Jesus. Woo! Woo! Woo, God. Man, when all hell broke loose, I was nowhere to be found. You couldn't find me in daytime with a flashlight. You couldn't find me nowhere. My name was never brought into it. And so it was funny. And by funny, I mean ironic that y'all acted like I was such the problem. Y'all all ganged up so y'all could energy harvest as a group, as a united front, and feel powerful, because I really do hold the power in the situation. Really, the God in me holds the power. But for y'all did all of that. I was the pinpoint of all of y'all's misguided frustrations, and I was totally faultless. And now when all hell broke loose, somehow my name, y'all forgot to bring up my name. Somehow I was nowhere to be found. But I was the problem. So God vindicated me. It was just genuinely funny, because some of the stuff they put me through, the people that they were buddy with put them through it. I'm just y'all can't even be a united front. This is just so sad. I get taken off the schedule, but I'm also fine. And I'm also at peace. And I'm also not worried about it. I'm not begging. I'm not asking. I'm not anything. I'm at peace about that. When you're vindicated, don't do anything. Don't say anything. Just be vindicated and be free. Isn't it just such a crazy story? They all, man. But God will vindicate you. So if you can stand to bear your cross, if you can stand to suffer for God, then you can stand when he vindicates you, and you can wait for it and be patient for it, and know, as surely as the sun shines every day, God is gonna vindicate you. He's not gonna let your enemies encompass you and overtake you. But you have to stand in the truth. Don't compromise with the devil because of the godly suffering you're going through. Be a child of God and go through it like you should. Through it. I love you guys.